God, I nearly fell out that window. Right, so in today's video, we are talking about these things in my hands, and they are prints. And as you guys know, if you've followed this channel for a while, the last year or so, yeah, just over a year, I started printing my film photography in the darkroom. It's been a whole journey. I've really enjoyed it. And the majority of the time I've been printing in Rapid Eye in London, which is a professional darkroom. You hire it out for half a day, and take your negatives in, print for, you know, the time that you've booked it out for. And there hasn't been anything in Manchester, which is where I live, that offers that service. But recently, the community darkroom in Manchester just started offering the option to print colour negatives. And they invited me down to try out their one-to-one session before they kind of offered it out to the public. And that is now live now, so if you are Manchester based and you do want to head over, learn how to print colour, give it a go, then I will link them in the description. So the way that they print colour over there is a little bit different to how I would do it at Rapid Eye. At Rapid Eye, there's a processing machine. You don't really come into contact with the chemicals. It's quite automated other than actually exposing the paper. So the way that they do it at Negative Development is that they use a Jobo tank to process the chemicals, and it's a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more manual. I'll overlay some clips that I shot whilst I was in there. But the biggest difference was that I usually shoot on Fuji crystal paper, and in today's video we're going to be talking about these prints which were printed on expired Kodak paper. So let me give you a little look at this first print. So this print is one of a photo that I took in Malta when I was shooting a festival in Malta. I might have to flick it up on screen because the reflection is pretty bad in this room. But as you can see straight away, there is a much more yellow kind of tone to the paper, and that is without a pre-flash. That's important to note because I didn't put anything in terms of kind of like a base color on this paper. This is just the color of the paper essentially. So this photo was taken on the Fuji GA645, and if you use that camera, you'll know it's a fixed lens. So when I saw this scene happening, which was essentially people boxing on this kind of jetty almost, that kind of juts out from the shore, I really wanted to capture it, but of course I didn't have a zoom lens, and so I took it from, I'm kind of like up another set of stairs here, and so I can't kind of get down because they're not stairs, there's like a rail, so I can't get past it. And at first I was kind of disappointed because I would have liked to get closer to the scene, closer to the action, but actually now I think that it's kind of does a good job at framing it and kind of creating a little bit more interest, and you're searching for the scene, and there's a little bit of like an establishing moment in that you can kind of see that landscape of Malta. So yeah, I actually really like this photo, and that's why I chose to print it. And one of my favorite things in kind of older photos is the way that skin tones are rendered, and I think a lot of that is down to the fact that they have been printed, they're photos that have been printed. I just realized that I am wearing my AirPods and I can't remember if I've been wearing them for the whole video, but now I can hear myself a bit better. Anyway, yeah, that kind of quality of skin tones that I was referencing, I think you can really see in this photo. It kind of gives that kind of nostalgic view to the image. If it wasn't for these cars in the bottom right, I think you could say that this is somewhat of a timeless photo in the sense that it would be difficult to look at it and know automatically when it was taken. One of the things that Negative Development also had was these kind of like exposure dials where you essentially place it down on the paper and make your exposure, and it will tell you, essentially it will give you like loads of options of different exposures, so you can see maybe more accurately where you're going to go in on the final print in terms of exposure, and also a little bit in terms of color. It's just an alternative to doing a test strip, essentially. Staying on the theme of Malta, I also printed this photo, and we've got two variations, and I'm going to talk you through the difference, but this is a photo of the crowd at the festival. So the reason that we have two variations of this photo is because I tried dodging and burning for the first time. So dodging and burning, if you aren't already familiar with the technique, is essentially adding or emitting light to certain sections of an image rather than the whole image, and that will change your exposure. So this was the first one that we had, and as you can see, the sky, the trees, they're pretty well exposed, but because these people are backlit, the people themselves, they're not exposed great. It is like a little bit underexposed. So we essentially dodged this section by putting a sheet of card and moving it around kind of roughly where the people would be during the exposure time, which meant that there was less light on this section of the image, resulting in a lighter section of the image. And then we'll move on to the final print that I printed in this session, and it was this photo of Neil. Something I really noticed with this paper in particular is that it looks a lot darker than when I was printing it. When I was printing it and like I saw the paper there and then, the image was a lot brighter. When I scanned it in, the image was a lot brighter. If I kind of put my torch on it, you can see that is kind of more how it was when I printed it. So I don't really know if there is a science behind that. Let me know, but it basically looks a little bit more subdued and just generally darker than when I first printed it. But this is a photo of Neil. When I was taking this photo, I envisioned that I would print it, so it was a good one to test. And I think this was the first print that I made in the session. Another thing that I've noticed, and this could be down to two different things. This could be down to using more of a chemical process than the machines at Rapid Eye, or it could also be down to the expired paper. But I noticed that these little specks on the prints, and I don't know if that is, like I said, like chemicals, like, or watermarks or something like that, or if that is something to do with the paper, because you know there's two variables to this shoot or to this printing session that I hadn't tried before. So if you do know what that is, let me know. I'm just interested. I'm not too fussed by it because these prints are tests. They're not anything too serious, but it would be good to know for future reference if that is something I've done in terms of, you know, not drying the print properly or something like that. Yeah, it's been a little while since I did a printing video, so this is just an update on where I'm at. I haven't actually had too much time to print, but now there is not only one but a second darkroom opening up in Manchester, so hopefully over the next few months, when we kind of come out of this busy events period, I'll have a little bit of time to head into the darkroom and create some more videos. So if there's something you want to see in the darkroom, drop me a comment and let me know, and I will be sure to film it. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.